You're listening to the wonderful Bristol Youth Choir. We're here with a whole army of volunteers from the Marmalade Trust who are preparing a very special Christmas meal for 60 people tomorrow, people who otherwise would be facing Christmas all on their own.
Getting together to celebrate, but for some it can be a lonely time.
Yeah, it's thought around 300,000 elderly people will be spending this Christmas Day alone. Many of them won't see any relatives at all over the entire festive period.
Breakfast John Maguire is at a pub in Bristol. They'll be preparing a special lunch to bring people together, and the Christmas carols are going as well. Morning!
Good morning, everyone. Slight delayed reaction there. Wanted to give you a good listen to the Bristol Youth Choir and fine voice this morning. We're at the Whitchurch pub, south of Bristol. We're with the wonderful volunteers from the Marmalade Trust. Here are the hampers. We shouldn't really give away too many of the ingredients, Gary, should we? That we're going to be handing over to people tomorrow. They will feed 60 people tomorrow, elderly folk who otherwise would be facing a Christmas alone. That's exactly what they're doing here in Bristol. Let's talk to Amy from the Marmalade Trust. Amy, this is all your fault. What got you started?
I was doing some voluntary work a few years ago and came across a few people that were going to be on their own on Christmas Day and decided that I would take those 3 people out, and it's just kind of grown from there, really. And here we are, yes, with 60 people tomorrow, which is going to be amazing, thanks to all our amazing volunteers, some of which are here today.
3 people to start, and it's built to 60.
It is, yeah.
Probably more next year, I suppose.
I hope so, yeah. We'd like, more money, more volunteers. We're all volunteers, so it would be great if we could just keep on building and spreading the marmalade.
Good for you. Vinny's here with Mum Kelly. Vinny, what are you doing there? Building a little Christmas tree, I think.
That's our...
Who's this on your braces?
Great.
I think that's chocolate for Santa Claus, isn't it? And Kelly, what are you going to be doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow I'll be volunteering for the Marmalade Trust, so I will be, well, first we'll be opening presents from Santa, and then we'll be picking up a lady from church, bringing her here to the Whitchurch, dropping her off, making sure she has lots of fun, and then we'll pick her up after and take her home, make sure she gets in okay. And thank you, Amy, it's absolutely brilliant to be here.
Good for you. Gloria Morris, good morning to you, Gloria. You work with groups of older people. Okay. Why do you think it's important to sort of get people energised and get people helping?
It's very good for people to be together, especially when they're old. It keeps them going so that they don't get lonely and get isolated, and that is terrible. If they're lonely and isolated, they have to have something to keep them motivated and keep them going. And I find that is great for the group that I work with. They just want to be there, and they just want to keep coming all the time.
Wonderful. Yes. Great, Gloria. Thank you very much indeed. You want to go and say hello to Maureen. Morning, Maureen. How are you? We've put you a bit on the fire exit here. I hope it's not too drafty for you. You're going to be coming to one of these meals tomorrow. You've been to them before. What are they like?
Yes, I'm helping with it, though.
You're helping?
Right, yeah.
Yes. Too young to. Yeah. But what are they like?
Lovely. Meet a lot of people. In fact, it's really, really nice that they can join in. And you leave people sitting at the table, and before you know where they are, they're all chatting one to another.
So friends are well met, are they?
Well, yes, even if they've never met before. They get going.
Great stuff. OK.
And the eating as well, of course.
Oh, yeah, we mustn't forget the eating. All right, thanks, Maureen. Merry Christmas. Have a great day tomorrow. Lots more from us here in the Whitchurch later. We'll, of course, let you listen to the fantastic choir. We'll have more songs from them later in the programme as well. But for the time being, back to you guys in the studio.
John, many thanks. It's certainly getting us into the festive spirit.
They are having a lovely time. That'd be nice if we could do the same, wouldn't it, here?
Well, it would be. But not all of us get to do that. Some of us have got to work. We can't be eating, can we?
On a busy programme like this, we haven't really got time.
No, no one's got time.
Yeah. Or at least most of us don't have time, eh?
Enjoying that, are you?
Maya.
Come on.
Good morning from the Whitchurch pub in South Bristol, where they are preparing to make meals for 20 people tomorrow, 60 across Bristol, courtesy of the Marmalade Trust, people who otherwise would be facing a Christmas on their own.
John, we'll join you a bit later. We've got the lunch plan then, so all we need now is the weather, Carol.
So for some, though, it can be a lonely time.
Yeah, the figures are remarkable. It's thought around 300,000 elderly people will be spending tomorrow, Christmas Day, on their own, and many of them won't see any relatives at all over the entire festive period.
John Maguire is at a pub in Bristol for us, and there they're preparing a special lunch. They're bringing people together, and they're certainly making the most of the festive spirit. Beautiful tree and some gorgeous young voices as well.
Those gorgeous young voices now belong to the Bristol Youth Choir. They're doing a wonderful job entertaining us all here this morning. We're in the Whitchurch pub south of Bristol. The reason we've come here is because these wonderful volunteers here, morning, in fine voice to the Marmalade Trust, will be feeding 60 people tomorrow in 3 different locations across Bristol. And that challenge is being taken up, as I say, right across the UK, but also by people here in Bristol. We're going to talk to Celia Phipps. Good morning, Celia. You talked to me the other day about this, you call it reaching in to people's lives. Just explain to me what that means and how you do it.
Well, at the Southfield Centre, we very much like to think of ourselves as part of the community and reaching to those people who might not be so easy to reach, but really to encourage a sense of citizenship and neighbourliness. Whether it be in your local street, you know, knocking on doors and getting to know people and meet people, kind of how we used to be. That's what people used to say. We used to do this, and actually we should get back to doing that. So knowing who's living in your local street. We link very much with all sorts of other people, like playing out. And when they play out, we make sure that older people know that that's happening and they can participate. It's very much about staying connected and being part of your local community.
Building
very,
that
very
community.
important. Yes,
that's the key word, isn't it? Steve Franks, I know that you've done a lot of work. You've looked at loneliness, especially in older age. How do we tackle that problem? How do we combat it?
Well, our project is looking at people who are struggling with loneliness, interviewing them and finding out what their need is, so to speak, and from that we want to try and help the people in the local area and get activities which will help them.
Yeah, OK. Jenny, you're very keen that this is a Christmas message that we're talking about this morning, but you want this type of behaviour to carry on right across the year.
Absolutely. Friends of the Elderly is delighted to be working with such a project as going on here in Bristol. But we need volunteers, we need people to be doing this every day of the year. There are supposedly 500,000 older people who will be alone tomorrow on Christmas Day, and that cannot happen again next year. So if you're looking on and you want some help, or if you'd like to volunteer, please do get back to us on www.foti.org.uk, and we would love to hear from you.
Yes, people will find it, I'm sure. It's gone very quiet here all of a sudden. We'll have the choir back on in a moment, don't worry. But just want to talk to a couple of people who will be enjoying lunch tomorrow. Jill, you came last year, you're back tomorrow. What was it like last year?
It was marvellous.
Was it?
It was amazing, and all due to Amy, really, and she's like a magnet. She gets all these people together to form the Marmalade Trust.
Yeah.
And all for our benefit, and it's wonderful, wonderful, and we do appreciate it.
Great stuff. Really something to look forward to. Reg, I know you went last year, you're back again tomorrow. It's something that you then look forward to earlier on in the year?
Yeah, because it's brilliant. And Amy, she does a marvellous job. So it's something to look forward to.
We met Amy earlier on today, if you're wondering who this wonderful Amy is that everybody's talking about. There she is sitting there, blushing away, Amy Perrin, who started up the Marmalade Trust a couple of years ago. And Sophia, you're new tomorrow. Looking forward to it?
That's right, I'm very much a new girl. I only just heard about it, and it's just such a wonderful idea to have this, and we just need to have the courage to reach out and ask. And here we are, invited to this thing, so it's wonderful.
Yeah, great. I mean, what would you have done otherwise?
Been on my own, and I haven't bothered to decorate the flat or do anything, just because sometimes you just don't feel you want to be bothered. But no, it's lovely.
Well, Merry Christmas to you all. Quick word, I think we've got time to some of the volunteers. Joe and Joel, a bit like Ant and Dec, I can't remember which is which. You're Joel, aren't you? Joel, you've been volunteering. I think you brought your kids along last year, didn't you?
I brought my kids along last year. We had a really good time. One of the important things is to bring people to the event, and they still talk about it now, the friends they met on that day. It was really good.
And Joe, you get something out of it too, don't you, as a volunteer?
I do, yes. I think everybody suffers from loneliness and people don't really like to talk about it. And so it's very nice to be able to do something about that and try and make an effort with people, because if we all just do a little bit, it really helps, and it helps everybody who's feeling lonely on Christmas and the rest of the year.
Great. Fantastic work that the Marmalade Trust and other organisations like it do across the UK.